Live from Arkansas's breaking news leader, Fox 16 News at 5:30 starts now.
Authorities arrest 3 additional suspects in the double murder case of a Conway couple. Good evening, I'm Kevin Kelly. Robert and Patricia Cogdale were found dead back in July. Their 14-year-old grandson and another teen already face capital murder in their deaths. Fox 16 Hillary Hunt live tonight in Conway with more on the latest arrests. Hillary, what have you found out?
Well, what I found out right now is that 2 new teens are facing additional charges, including the grandson's mother. Now, if you take a look at these mugshots that are about to pop up, you're going to be seeing Anastasia Roberts, and you're going to be seeing another man named Connor Ashley. Now, they're said to be associated with that murder. They're both facing murder charges and theft by receiving. They're said to have been with the grandson and Hunter Drexler at the time of the homicide. Now, things are still coming out in relation to this, but another person is actually being charged in the case. His mother, Michelle Stanton, the mother of the grandson, is actually being charged with hindering apprehension. Now, I just got my hands on some of the affidavits, and in one of them, the mother, Michelle Stanton, claims to have told police that she knew about what happened, that her son actually told her about what happened, mentioning things like they emptied a whole clip in reference to a gun. They also, in this, allege that Hunter told Justin we could just kill them after the grandparents allegedly came in and were giving Justin a hard time. Now, lots of things still coming out about this case, but that's what we know for right now, that 2 new teens, the ones that were allegedly found in Texas with Hunter Drexler, are facing murder and theft by receiving charges. And now his mother, Michelle Stanton, who actually remains in a Faulkner County jail tonight on unrelated charges, is also facing a hindering apprehension charge. And in this affidavit, tells police allegedly that she knew all about what happened, that her son told her that he did something bad. Now it's something we'll have more about tonight at 9. I'm live in Conway. Hillary Hunt, I'll send it back to you guys.
All right, Hillary, I know you have a lot of paperwork to go through. We'll be looking forward to your report on Fox 16 News at 9 tonight. Thanks for the update. A judge sets a $1 million bond today for a man accused of hitting 2 women while running from police. Jordan Vandenberg is charged with first-degree murder, first-degree battery, fleeing, theft of property, as well as theft by receiving. Police say the suspect lost control of his SUV Tuesday night, hitting 39-year-old Trendia Horton and her daughter Natalie, who were out for a walk along Chico Road. The mom died in the accident. We're told Natalie is in a medically induced coma tonight after having surgery. A judge rules that former middleweight boxing champion Jermaine Taylor will not be allowed to attend his mother's funeral. Taylor has been in the Pulaski County Jail since May, facing second-degree battery charges. His mom died last week, and according to Taylor's attorney, the former boxer will not be allowed to attend the service or visit the cemetery. Judge Leon Johnson did rule that he can go to the funeral home for a supervised visit with the family's pastor before the funeral. Planned Parenthood in federal court today fighting to keep its Medicaid contract with the state of Arkansas. Today, the group told a judge they believe Governor Asa Hutchinson does not have the right to cut funding. Fox 16's Jonathan Rozelle live outside the federal courthouse with more on this case. Jonathan.
No, right now the judge is holding off on whether to call for a freeze on the governor's call to ask DHS to stop funding the Planned Parenthood. Now, all that happened inside this courtroom behind me. Now, both the state and Planned Parenthood made cases today which they argue that defunding the program violates federal law, but the state argued that federal law gives them a right to terminate the contract of a provider even during a pending case. Now, the governor called for the change in August, which will go into effect on Monday. Now, again, Planned Parenthood also argued videos alleging the organization was involved in the selling of fetal abortion parts is also not true. The state says that video and audio from those tapes do show and you can hear clearly that some of those involved are Planned Parenthood employees. Now, the state is hoping that a judge sides with them in this matter here.
don't want to say so much because there's still a legal proceeding going on, but you can obviously see our brief, which is public, and we hope that the judge will rule soon and rule in our favor.
Now, the judge has not said when she would make, and we're all still waiting to hear back from that ruling there. For now, live in downtown Little Rock, Jonathan Roselle, Fox 16 News.
All right, Jonathan, certainly a big issue, a big topic, a lot at stake in the same scenario playing out in Louisiana as well as Alabama. So keep us posted. Appreciate the update.
Now, weather to plan your day with Fox 16 Chief Meteorologist Jeff Baskin.
Well, it feels an awful lot like summer out there, and well, technically it is still summer, but not for much longer as the official start of fall only a few days away. Let's take a live look outside. We have a good amount of sunshine out there, mostly clear skies. Certainly no pop-up showers today with daytime heating, even though it's a bit hotter today than it was yesterday. High temperatures in the mid-90s. 94 right now in Little Rock after a high of 95, 95 in Arkadelphia and Camden. A little bit less hot across northern Arkansas with temperatures in the upper 80s. When you factor in the humidity, feels like mid to upper 90s out there. 99 is what it feels like in Arkadelphia at 96. The heat index around Hot Springs as well as Little Rock and Searcy. As we take a look at the satellite and radar, not a whole lot to show you. Mostly sunny skies. A few clouds popped up briefly across parts of south central Arkansas. That's about it. So here's a look at your evening forecast. Still right around 90 degrees at 6 o'clock and dropping into the low 80s by about 8 o'clock and still in the mid 70s around midnight. So a rather warm and humid evening, but we are tracking another cold front that's moving our way, and that's going to bring in another shot of some cooler, more fall-like air. I'll show you when to expect the cooler temperatures coming up in your 7-day forecast in just a few minutes.
In part 2 of a Fox 16 Investigates report, a sex offender releases his confidential assessment records after we spend a year digging into his past. Last night, Marcy Manley gave you an inside look at how Bishop Jacob Taylor, also known as convicted sex offender Carlos Norwood, thinks about his history. He claims he has been a victim of the system, despite having a hefty rap sheet.
They've never done anything wrong, and yet they continue to come into contact with the criminal justice system. That's very significant.
Tonight at 9, Marcy Manley spends the day with Arkansas's sex offender assessment team, finding out what the red flags are for them as they interview hundreds of sex offenders each year, and what the red flags would be for you if you come into contact with a sex offender like Taylor who claims they got the wrong guy. In tonight's crime alert, a North Little Rock man behind bars after police find large amounts of cash and methamphetamine at his home. Officers served a warrant on this man, Ulysses Arroyo Jr., at his home on West 18th Street. That's where they say they found an assortment of drugs, more than $30,000 in cash, and even a stolen gun. Another suspect in North Little Rock in trouble with the law this evening after he's caught on tape breaking into coin machines. Ray McClure is accused of breaking into several machines at the Fund Wash in North Little Rock. Police say all the crimes were caught on surveillance cameras. McClure was arrested on 7 counts of breaking and entering. The second oldest home in Hot Springs burns to the ground. The fire department says they're led to believe someone did it on purpose, and the owners had planned to auction it off today. This video shared on social media last night shows how intense the fire got along the 400 block of Spring Street. The fire department says they got the call at 11:30 and had it out in an hour, but were forced to knock it all down because of safety reasons.
The whole purpose for this auction was to find someone who was interested in restoring the house and bringing it back up to a place of honor and integrity for the city of Hot Springs and for the residents in this area.
The owners say the home was not insured. The auction, of course, was canceled. It's now the owner's responsibility to clear out all that rubble. The Little Rock Fire Marshal's office is investigating a morning fire that threatened a local dry cleaning business. The fire at River Market Express Cleaners broke out a little after 8 a.m. Firefighters were able to contain it to the back portion of the building. We're told an employee was inside when a fire broke out and had no clue the back room was burning until a bystander noticed the smoke, ran in, and told her to get out.
She came from nowhere, from behind, and tapped me on my shoulder. "Are you the one that helped me get out the building?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "I am so grateful."
No word on the extent of damage. The cause of the fire is still under investigation, but officials think it's possible it may have been sparked by homeless people that sleep behind the building. Out in Northern California, devastating wildfires still burning out of control. The blazes so far have claimed more than 600 homes, and there's no end in sight. In its path now, more brush and trees, less homes. That's some good news there, but still, embers, as you can see, leap from treetop to treetop, advancing like dominoes. Firefighters took advantage of the sporadic rain today to get more control of the Valley Fire, which is only 30% contained. Meanwhile, an American Red Cross volunteer from Arkansas is now on his way to help wildfire victims. Larry Martins has been deployed to more than 30 natural disasters over the past 7 years all across the nation. His specialty is mental health, where he helps victims who have lost everything focus on the future and not the past.
It means so much for them to know that there's people that do care and people that will take time out of their lives to help them.
He's certainly one of them. Martins will spend at least the next 2 weeks helping victims of the Valley Fire, which so far has consumed 70,000 acres. It's also unfortunately taken the lives of at least 3 people. One of the greatest heavyweights in the history of boxing honored today. That story just ahead. But first, the government reaches a settlement with General Motors over the issue of faulty ignition switches. More on the huge lump sum.
You're watching Fox 16 News at 5:30, covering Benton, Cabot, Little Rock, and all of Central Arkansas.
General Motors and the Justice Department settled criminal charges today that the automaker covered up ignition switch defects dating back a decade and a half. General Motors will now pay a hefty fine, $900 million, and could face prosecution down the road. At least 124 people were killed, another 275 injured when the ignition switch on GM cars like the Chevy Cobalt and Saturn Ion. GM also agreed to pay another $575 million to settle nearly 1,400 death and injury lawsuits stemming from the faulty ignition switches. And the automaker still faces another 450 lawsuits, 6 of which are scheduled for trial.
Now, weather to plan your day with Fox 16 Chief Meteorologist Jeff Baskin.
Another hot, humid day, Mr. Baskin.
Yeah, still feeling very much like summer. High temperatures up into the mid-90s, 95 the high temperature today, and tomorrow right about the same.
Really, as we head closer to the official start of fall, huh?
But we are going to cool down as we end the summer.
Good. That's what we want.
Yeah, we are talking about another cold front, and it's going to cool us down for the second half of the weekend. But we go into the weekend rather hot, and then it starts to cool down. So it's by early next week feeling a little bit more fall-like out there.
All right. We'll ease our way into it.
Yeah, we'll ease our way into it slowly, very slowly over the next couple of days. But tomorrow, well, it's not going to be any cooler than today. As a matter of fact, at least just as hot. Summer heat continues for tomorrow. Next front arrives on Saturday. Only minimal rain chances with that, but it is going to bring a very noticeable cool down as we go into Sunday. Next front to bring in some cooler temperatures. We're talking about highs well up into the mid-90s for tomorrow. Now, this time of year, once we get into mid-September, the average high is down into the mid-80s. 84 is the high temperature, average high temperature for tomorrow. Of course, well above that. Actually, the record high tomorrow is 98. I don't think we'll get quite that hot, but we're not going to be that far away either. 92 for Saturday, and then the front comes on through, dropping us down into the upper 70s for Sunday, low 80s as we go into the beginning of the next work week. Satellite and radar showing mostly clear skies, not a whole lot going on. We actually have high pressure in the upper levels of the atmosphere, really keeping things rather dry and quite warm. Temperatures well up into the 90s, not only across Arkansas, but back across the plain states. You don't really see any sign of cooler air. No, not yet anyway, as the next front to come on down is still pretty far away, just getting through the Pacific Northwest right now. Temperatures in the upper 80s to 90 degrees, 90 in Clinton, 88 in Batesville, low to mid 90s across much of central Arkansas, 94 Little Rock, 94 in Hot Springs, 95 right now in Arkadelphia, 93 in Camden, 92 in Monticello. Mostly sunny skies out there this evening. Yesterday at this time, we still had a couple of spotty showers out there. Well, that's not the case tonight, even though it's just as warm and about as humid. 94 degrees Feels like 96 with the humidity. It's not a huge difference, not really humid out there, but enough to make it feel a couple degrees warmer. So through the overnight hours, mainly clear skies starting off your Friday. Lots of sunshine once again, hot and dry, although showers and thunderstorms beginning to fire up well to our north and northwest along that front as we go into the afternoon hours. But we stay dry as we go into the evening. That means no threat of any rain for those Friday night football games. And as we go into Saturday, here comes our front into northwest Arkansas during the morning hours and pushing into central Arkansas during the afternoon. Not much rain associated with this front, very little moisture, but I wouldn't rule out a very isolated shower or thunderstorm as this front comes on through. Notice northwest Arkansas well behind the front for the evening hours. So if you are heading to northwest Arkansas for the Razorbacks game, it's going to be cooler up there, and also no threat of any rain around game time. As we go into Sunday morning, cooler air begins to move on in. So as we take a look at tomorrow, starting off in the upper 60s, near 70 degrees, warming up to near 90 by about lunchtime, mid 90s for those high temperatures, hot and humid, and still rather warm and muggy for those Friday night games tomorrow. Let's take a look at that 7-day forecast. 90s the next couple of days, only 20% chance of showers associated with that front as it moves on through Saturday. Sunday, we're talking about still a couple of lingering showers behind the front. Notice only in the upper 70s, near 80 degrees, and a bit cooler as we head towards the official beginning of fall, which is on Wednesday. Kevin?
Thank you, Jeff. The University of Louisville presented Muhammad Ali with the inaugural Grawemeyer Spirit Award today. The award was established to recognize a person whose beliefs, actions, and worldwide impact align with Charles Grawmeyer's values. The U of L graduate inspired to make the world a better place. Muhammad's wife, Lonnie, thanked the university on behalf of her husband, who, as you can see here, attended the ceremony. What an honor. Sports Director Wes Moore will be joining us next. The Razorback coaches have been discussing plans to stop Texas Tech's explosive offense. Will they come through? Plus, an NFL Hall of Famer discusses the Hogs' important game with the Red Raiders. We'll hear from Tim Brown in Sudden Death Sports.
Now, Sudden Death Sports with Wes Moore, powered by North Point Cars.
The Texas Tech Red Raiders are bringing a very explosive offense to Fayetteville. Their quarterback is second in the nation in passing. The team leads the Big 12 in scoring. Granted, they played Sam Houston State in Week 1 and UTEP last week. Texas Tech scored 28 points on Arkansas last season. Saturday, the Razorbacks want to get physical with the Red Raiders.
You know, it's about buckling down and getting back to the principles of what Arkansas is about. You know, we talk about 5 edges, and number one, we got to have some minimum physical toughness, and we got to play clean. We got to stay away from the pre and post snap penalties.
Just talking about the physicality of things, and obviously it's just been re-emphasized this week. I mean, it's got to be a part of who we are and what we do, and so there's obviously been that emphasis this week.
Former Heisman Trophy winner and NFL Hall of Famer Tim Brown spoke at the Little Rock Touchdown Club today. Brown talked about his rise from humble beginnings in Dallas to becoming the star for the Oakland Raiders. He also discussed Razorback football, giving his 2 cents on their game against Texas Tech Saturday.
When your team lose, especially unexpectedly, it can be tough. But I know Brett Bellarmine very well. I had the chance to cover him when I was working with ESPN, and I'm sure he'll have the team ready. It's a tough task this week. Texas Tech is going to come in throwing the ball all around the place, but I'm sure Brett will have the team back and ready to go. I don't really think he has a choice. I mean, I think he better get the team up and going.
Coming up tonight, we'll preview our Fearless Friday Game of the Week, number 15 Warren at number 4 Pulaski Academy. We'll see you at 9.
Doritos unveils a colorful and bold twist on its classic Doritos chip. The limited edition rainbow bags are designed to celebrate the LGBT community on the back of the bag. The company declared, quote, "There's nothing bolder than being yourself." Consumers won't find them in stores, though. To get a bag, you need to donate $10 or more to the It Gets Better project. And Amazon unveiled 7 new devices today, including a tablet computer priced under $50. The 7-inch Fire tablet is priced at $49.99. The company plans to sell a 6-pack of the devices for the price of 5 or $250. Amazon also unveiled new Fire HD tablets, as well as a new Fire TV and Fire TV Stick with voice remote. Jeff, you're all familiar with those gadgets, right?
Fire TV Stick. That's the one. Gary Busey does the advertisements for that.
Okay.
Fire TV Stick. Remember?
Sounds ferocious.
Well, you know what? It's some ferocious heat out there that we've had over the last couple of days, and that continues as we go into the end of the week, but we do have a change on the way as we go into the weekend. Mid-90s again for tomorrow, about 10 degrees above average, actually only a few degrees away from the record. Low 90s on Saturday, although if you are heading up to the game on Saturday, it's not going to be that hot in northwest Arkansas. High temperature is likely to only be in the upper 70s around Fayetteville, so quite a big difference. So I know that's good news for you, Wes, and early next week we cool down, not as midsummer like.
Gotta like it. Sounds good. Thank you so much. We'll see you at 9.